weekend. It was a forum for the inauguration of Sean McCaig as Joe McDonough's replacement as president of the association. It was also the platform for discussions on many other important issues. Here's Marty Morrissey.
Galwegians will inform you that this city on the banks of the Corrib has experienced much change over the last few years. Thus, it's rather fitting that the outgoing president of the GAA, Joe McDonough, a native of this county, should hold the first Millennium GAA Congress here in Galway City. The dynamic and recurring theme of the Congress has been change. At the opening session, for instance, former President Peter Quinn suggested that Croke Park might be available to the government as a national stadium. As chairman of the Finance Subcommittee, he outlined 3 options open to the association. The GAA could pay £5 million a year for 10 years. It could ask the government for a £50 million grant. The GAA could consider leasing Croke Park, or indeed the Croke Park could become the national stadium.
The option that we came forth with was that if they don't give us 50 million, then we could make, on certain conditions, we might be prepared to make our stadium the national stadium. The national stadium is the stadium, or will be the stadium, for the people of Ireland.
The former president's speech immediately caused a stir and a few headlines over the weekend. If hypothesis becomes reality, it would be a change beyond belief.
It means fairly dramatic change for the GAA, but then we're in a period of change. We're in an era of change. When we started to develop Croke Park 10 years ago, there weren't anything like the threats that there are now. There weren't anything like the financial impositions on us, and there weren't anything like the alternatives in terms of a government-funded national stadium. So things have changed in spite of us. So we have to change. We can't ignore change and to say that we're not going to react to it. And my suggestion was we should at least consider options in terms of our reaction to change.
Discussing the various strands of the Arts Dúrthaur's report create an amount of discussion and debate. Drug testing may not be perceived as a problem now, but information indicates that there are areas of concern. Major educational programmes are now required, additional responsibility will be imposed on county administrators, and there's a crucial role for county medical personnel.
There is a concern in the GAA about this whole area. We're very conscious that we're in an era now where many sports are experiencing difficulties in this area, and the GAA is very much to the forefront in making sure that its rules and regulations going forward encompasses any new regulations of a statutory nature.
There's change in the most important place of all, the playing fields. From now on, each game will be 70 minutes duration for both league and championship, and from now on, 5 substitutions will be allowed. The much-hyped Football Development Committee proposals and motions and similar innovative suggestions made by various counties were discussed.
Our whole motivation at all times was the promotion of the game for the players. Not as some people thought, just at county level, also at club level. Because we believe as well that if the county players need a fixed structure to know when they're playing, that equally the club players know. And I would say in the present system, apart from maybe a few well-organised counties, the fixtures problem in those counties and the playing of matches is certainly on a very, very haphazard basis.
The months of April, May and June, the amount of inter-county activity that takes place in those months compared to the amount of inter-county activity that takes place in November, February and March. And I think all members of the committee, and I think everybody here would say, that that is certainly an imbalance that needs to be corrected.
Now, in regard to the question of the championship, we are saying that one central council determines that certain counties, named counties, are in the weak category, that the provincial councils involved must then make provision to ensure that these counties receive a minimum of 2 games.
We have talked about here, and I've heard, teams not kicking a ball or players not kicking a ball from May until the following May. Do we not play club football in these counties? Is county football the be-all and end-all of the promotion of our games?
In the end, no decision was reached, but a special management subcommittee will be established to examine the options. A change of president was now the only thing left on the agenda. Joe McDonough's reign as president came to an end.
Buchas och frid iver fad. Gawim she buchas specialta as an gorgeous, as an dakiach, a hug shib she dom. Agus maradin an shanoran. Tan Torres, farige hart. Tan a magi, ed a durlin. So chorach ar y tro, gur bile magi.
Just looking at today, 78 motions on the car, a record number of motions passed. I suppose overall, I would hope that I played a role as an agent for change.
When Sean McCaig was elected Uachtaráin Tuffa last year, he got a welcome in his native Scottstown, fit for a president.
I don't know how you manage it, but the busy schedule has time for a late bonfire and come to Dublin. You're a great man, thanks. This is the bride.
This was his day.
To paraphrase from a quote by Franklin D. Roosevelt, in the democracy of our great association, the president and the officers of the association are the servants and never the masters of the vast membership. My hope is that God will give me the health for the task ahead. Gorky Baker.
Yes, and we wish Sean McCaig the very best of luck during his term of office as